So there's still more Premier League action in match week 29, even though it's a shorter game week, but there's still a lot to discuss, lots to digest, and lots to take in, of course. First off, Bournemouth and Brentford take on themselves in a game that I believe is going to be very interesting, regardless of the scoreline, because both teams are end-to-end teams that will, go at each other and stuff like that. But Victor, if you're looking at it from a tactical standpoint, what kind of game can we expect at the Vitality Stadium?
Yeah, I think you've put it well with end to end. Both teams are top heavy. They like attacking, and if you look at their strengths on the pitch, they are rather from the midfield up. I think Bournemouth should be winning this one if they're serious about qualifying for Europe. It feels like they're the sort of team in that position where they are by now kind of expected to beat a mid-table team such as Brentford. We'll probably see goals, but I think Iraola's team would be the one to come out on top. We should also say, though, the recent head-to-head record actually favors Brentford. So the first game of the season between them actually ended in a 3-2 win for Brentford. And overall, the last five games, including that one, they they actually won three of them, Brentford, and the other two were draws. So Bournemouth are without a win against Brentford in the last five.
Yeah, fair enough. And Max, in another game that that is also expected to go in a very interesting way, Fulham will actually host Tottenham in what you can call a London derby, at least by geographical standards. There's no actual clear favorite in this fixture, but how do you think this game could end up, Max?
Yeah, I'd like to point out that Fulham won only one of their last seven head-to-heads, and that might be the point why Tottenham will be a bit of favorite in this game, even though they're playing on the road. And also, I'm not sure that Fulham that good at home, especially last time. So for me, Tottenham are not losing this game for sure, and probably I'd even prefer Tottenham to win.
Yeah, fair enough. And still with you, Max. As a Manchester United fan, actually, you guys take on Leicester City. I know both teams are not the best at the moment, but do you think Leicester City have a chance of staging an upset?
I don't see it actually,
Of course.
especially because we already played them twice and both times we won, as I remember. So it's not gonna be a hard deal.
Yeah, fair enough. And over to you, Victor. What do you think about Sir Jim Ratcliffe saying some United players are not good enough? And he was bold enough to mention a couple names and hinted at the lines that a lot of players are going to be sold this summer. What do you think about those comments?
Yeah, I actually had a look at the whole interview, and it's hard to argue with the man, right?
Yeah,
Um, the standout things from the interview for me were how he said that some players, are not good enough and overpaid, and it's yeah, everybody was thinking it, right?
yeah,
It was a bit shocking to see something like this, such a candid admission from someone so high up in the club structure, but it's significant, and it's significant because he basically made the outgoing transfer list public. Okay, Anthony, Casemiro, Onana, Højlund, Sancho. Hardly any shocks on that list, and I personally
yeah,
expect there are at least another five players that he didn't name
yeah,
that are on his list. Not everyone will be sold this summer. He also pointed out that it takes time to move away from the past, etc., etc. But yeah, a major cleanup job is coming. It's obvious, and what raises some questions with me as an outside observer is, so they will obviously have to replace these players, okay? And the
yeah,
club has already said that the stadium project will be eating into the transfer funds.
yeah,
So we can probably expect this transition period to continue. They seem to be focusing on the future, but as we know, the fan base is genuinely concerned about the present. They're trying to move away from the past. They're even trying to move away from Sir Alex Ferguson's legacy. And I feel like there are points where both sides are right, the boardroom and the fan base. What I think will be will be happening in the future is not going to be pretty. There are going to be more and more protests. I don't think Ineos are as welcome as they think they are, and I don't think it will. I think it's one of those situations where it's not been going well, but it will have to get even worse before it gets better for United.
Yeah, fair enough. You've just put it just fine. They have a major shakeup coming, and especially with the new stadium project, it's going to make it even more difficult because to balance both is not going to be easy. So one of them is actually going to suffer, and just like you well put it, the stadium is going to affect the transfer budget at the
Two
moment. So it's
billion
going
pounds, 2 billion.
2 billion. Yeah, it's a lot for any side in the world. So I really see a tough, another difficult 2 or 3 more seasons for United. I don't see it getting any better. Sorry, Max. I see it stagnating or getting even worse. But yeah, we're just sometimes it needs to get worse until it gets better. So ask Arsenal about that if you have any doubts. So, but yeah, it's going to be a tough transition period for United, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can even bounce back from it. Some clubs go through transitions and they never bounce back. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they can step up. I mean, step back from all of that, anyways. But regardless, the Premier League is kicking on. Manchester United are still battling relegation. Also battling relegation with them is Tottenham. I call it battling relegation because if you are 14 or below at this stage of the season for a team like Manchester United, that's relegation, man. That's as good as relegation, if you ask me. But anyways, we'll see what will happen this weekend. We'll see what happens between Fulham and Tottenham, and also Bournemouth and Brentford battle for 3 crucial points in the race for the top four. And everything will heat up, everything will happen, and we'll be here to discuss all the best bits as all the action comes.